Are you tired of not being able to manifest your desire? A perfect relationship, the best treatment, being respected, being loved, being cared for, being taken care of, being a priority in someone's life. I know you want that and you want to manifest it. But the problem is that you're not doing it right. I'm sure you've heard of adopting a new self-concept that's different from your old self, how you manifest. But nobody really tells you how to do that. Manifestations is a lot more easier than you think, but at the same time, it's a little difficult. So let me put you on a game. When it comes to a new self-concept, we're talking about new identity. We're talking about a new version of yourself that lives in your end. And what is your end reality? Because your current reality has certain feelings, emotions, and thought patterns that are associated with it, which is your old identity. Now, in order to step into that new version of yourself, you need to immerse yourself in your imagination and focus on how you would feel once you achieve your end. Because realize that once you achieve your end, the desires, the wishes, the manifestations, whatever you're trying to get or attract into your life, the identity, the feeling states will be different from the ones you have now. But realize that your reality, your environment is creating your identity by making you feel a certain way, think a certain way, which keeps you in that loop, cause and effect. Now, if you manifest the opposite reality, then the identity is also shifting. But did you know one of the main rules and laws of metaphysics and biology is that our inner states can also affect the environment? It's not that only environment can affect how we feel and create realities for us by programming us a certain way, then we start broadcasting a frequency that is not necessarily favorable for the manifestations that we want to create for ourselves or, attract into our life. But they don't tell you that your inner states, when you start acting from that version of yourself that lives in your end of the wish fulfilled, it triggers the circumstances in your life and your environment. It affects people. How do you actually do that? You need to bring in that version of yourself that lives in your end. How would you feel? What are the things you're going to engage in? Can you rehearse that in your mind every single morning in your meditation? Can you get relaxed, switch off your analytical mind, and visualize yourself living in the reality that you want? And can you focus your attention on the feeling that will come once you achieve your end? Dedicate 5 to 10 minutes to that. Rehearse. You know that successful athletes, they constantly rehearsed the game and how they will perform before winning a game. They rehearse the performance and only then become the best athletes. You should get more information from, the people that you admire, by the way. This is how you will expand your comfort zone imagination. Because if you can't imagine that something is possible for you, then it will be difficult for you to manifest it. Because you don't even allow yourself this possibility of experiencing it. Because you're too taken over by what's happening in your life right now. So if you are feeding into this only and there's no neutrality and deliberately creating that frequency from your end and emanating it consciously, even though you may be taken over by old states, if you can't switch back to your new identity and act from that version of yourself throughout the day, transform yourself multiple times a day, you're thinking how you perceive things, especially if the old way of perceiving is not working for you and it's proving to you time and time again. Why do the same thing? Meaning not do, but think and feel the same thing. You're taking practical actions, but the thoughts and feelings are not aligned, which actually shows that your mind and heart is disconnected. How to integrate your heart and mind in perfect resonance so that you actually get what you want. Because your actions, a lot of the times, are not enough. In order for your manifestations to come faster, you need to align your soul, you need to align your heart, and for this, you will have to feel your feelings, emotions, instead of overthinking them and thinking about where they're coming from and then being taken back into your old states that are associated with bad past experiences or fearful experiences that feed into that fear that you're currently having. In order to stop this, you need to rehearse who you no longer want to be. After imagining yourself living from a new version in a new reality, rehearsing that for 5 to 10 minutes, right after that, and by the way, this is Joe Dispenza's method. I've been doing his meditations for the past 2 years in the morning. I absolutely love them. Aligning yourself with your best possibility first and feeling, engaging in the feeling states, really like acting from that in your imagination and doing the things that you would do once you get there, creates that feeling state. And you know that our mind can't differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. So when you do that, right, you're broadcasting into the field the feeling state frequency that is consistent with the reality that you want. And in the quantum field, we have so many different possibilities. You tap into them by emanating frequency from that end, okay, from your end. After rehearsing your new version of yourself in your imagination, I want you to imagine who you no longer want to be. What are the feeling states you no longer want to entertain anymore? What are the thought patterns that you no longer want to think? And what are the actions that you do not want to engage in? Why is this important? The reason why it's important is because our bodies get accustomed to feeling states, okay? And when certain circumstances and situations are popping up in our reality, if they carry a vibration of something that we've experienced, whether painful or good in the past, it's going to trigger that, especially if it was a habitual state. If we really got obsessed over it and spent time, even months obsessing and overthinking, feeling bad about it, by rehearsing the old identity and the new identity throughout the day, those triggers come in, you will be able to identify them more easily because you've already rehearsed of who you no longer want to be, of how you no longer want to think or feel, and what actions you no longer want to take, and decisions, choices you will not engage in. This is the main secret, you guys. I'm telling you. Just saying stepping into your new self-concept, just F everything, will not work unless you become so familiar with your new identity that you want to create and your past identity, the old identity that you want to let go. You will not be able to manifest because at every single trigger you will be pulled into your past, will reflect in your reality. Everything that you see is the accumulation of your consciousness, good or bad, which comes from subconscious. You got this. Click a link in my bio and subscribe to my newsletter if you haven't done so. I do share great mindset tips and also send out the astrological transitory updates. Follow for more.